Hey everybody, welcome back to Balthazar's Pagan Garden. This episode is going to be about an awesome delivery I got. Actually, several awesome deliveries I got. So, let me start out by showing you the big one that I got first. And then we'll go on to the other ones. And trust me, as we go along, I'm sure you'll be as excited as I am for what's to come of it. Alright. So I have some wonderfully nice tree people who are graciously giving me a load of wood chips. And it's going on my lawn, and then it's going to be used all over the yard. Figured you guys would want to see this. I am uber excited for that. Holy cow. That looks awesome. Goodness. There's some big pieces in there, but hey, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to get those out when I go through and shovel the stuff around. So, oh, and the smell is amazing. Alright, I'll be right back. Everybody, I have a giant pile of wood chips in my yard, and it's going to go all over the place. But the first place I'm going to put it is right here. I'm going to put a nice 6-inch thick layer because my HOA likes to complain at me about the quote-unquote weeds. So, yeah, but this stuff is awesome. This is tree mulch. For those of you who are not familiar, which I would be surprised if you aren't, tree mulch is the entire tree. So, pine needles, the leaves, the pieces of wood, the whole deal. You know, you get anything from this all the way down to these really tiny pieces here. So, this right here is a gardener's gold, and I just got it for free. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and load it up on the front here, and hopefully before my wife gets home so that she can be pleasantly surprised. And then I have to find a way to put the rest of it in the backyard. Alright, and I'll be right back. The delivery I got. Now, here's the other thing that I got in the mail same day. I got a Macintosh apple tree. And everybody knows my crabapple tree. But I also got the famous snow apple tree. Both of these are very classic heirlooms, and both of these trees are also amongst my favorite types of apples. So I am very excited. I am very excited to get these planted. So I'm going to go ahead and plant one and show you how it looks planted, and then I'll show you what I did to plant it. Alright everybody, I got the first hole dug. I realized that this is a lot harder than I thought it was, and Xander's been helping me. But that's all the dirt, and as you can see, it's not exactly great. As a matter of fact, it's downright miserable. And you can actually see the soil strata right here as to what I started with and what's actually underneath the bed still. We have a very, very fine layer of bad, hard soil, which over there is actually decent. And then we have a compressed layer of what up here it appears to me is clay. And then the further down we go, everybody. So the camera cut out there in the last bit. I apologize about that. Battery died. But I'm back outside now. That is the soil we're starting with. Okay? Really, really piss poor. I dug a giant hole, probably 2 feet deep and about 2.5 feet around. I threw some of my yard raking stuff in the bottom to act like a giant sponge to hold water. Now, to prepare the soil, I have it running right now at about a 50-50 blend of compost and native soil. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to dump this in the hole until the hole is full. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to plant the tree into it. And I'll be right back. So I've basically filled up the hole with sifted soil and compost, blended together into this nice mix. And I left it a little bit shy of the top of the hole on purpose. See, it's about maybe a hand width from the top of the hole. The reason is because I live in a very dry climate, and I want this to be able to catch as much water as possible. Now when I mound this up with mulch, you won't be able to tell that I left any depression. But the soil in here is now very soft, very rich, blended, almost as good as the garden beds. And it's huge. And the reason it's huge is because the soil here is rock hard soil. And that rock hard soil that we have is basically sand and clay, so it doesn't do very well for plants at all. And I want this tree to have a good couple of years of solid root growth before it runs into that. So by digging a 2.5 foot wide by 2 foot deep hole for a root system, which by the way the tree came bare rooted, it looks like this, it should give it more than enough room to spread out. Alright, now I'm going to go over to the compost tea brewer. I'm going to dip the roots in so that way it gets a nice colony of microbes on it. Let's go over there. So we're at the compost tea brewer, and I'm going to take the bag out. Mind you, I haven't changed this compost bag since I put it in here. I'm just going to mix it around like this and make sure that the whole thing is mixed up so I get all the sediments off the bottom. And I know I need to fill it up a little bit. It doesn't really smell like anything, and I know it's got good microbiology going on inside because of the bubbles. So now that it's mixed up, we take the roots, dunk it a couple of times, get them nice and wet. They're dripping nice and wet. Rehydrate the roots. Okay, we're going to take all this nutrient that I'm putting on here, I'm going to bring it over to the hole where we plant it. And it also helps wake the plant up because the plant has been put into a dormant state by the people who sent it to me. By the way, these trees came from Gurney's. It's a seed company online. Pretty awesome. And a very old seed company, at least one that I'm very familiar with. And I didn't even know they were still around until I found them online looking for Macintosh apple trees. Alright, I'm going to go back to the hole now. Stuck this in the dirt, and I just took a really simple little garden spade to dig a tiny little hole, put this thing in with the roots. And I dug a hole just barely big enough for the roots and buried it up to the graft mark. Actually, I don't even know if it had a graft mark, but I buried it up to the line anyway. That was on the trunk, because this is a standard Macintosh apple. Standard Macintosh apples can reach 25 feet in height and 25 feet in width from branch to branch, and they produce tons of apples. But this tree here is now planted. The only thing left to do is water it in real good in that spot and then put mulch on it. So I'm going to go ahead and water it in, bring in a couple of barrels of mulch and bury the soil that or cover up the soil that I filled in so that way it doesn't dry out. And then I'll show you when it's all done. Since I worked on that last bit of this video, and I'm wrapping up this video and another video I'm working on just to kind of give you guys a couple of things to watch, because I hate the fact that I've been absent so long. But this is that apple tree that I planted. This is a Macintosh apple tree. It is the newest addition to the Pagan Garden, and it is my favorite type of apple anywhere. And when it starts to produce, you'll get to see it in all its glory. But as I showed you earlier in this video, this was not more than a stick. Now it's a beautifully branched out apple tree. Gurney's, you did beautiful with that. This is the wood mulch. I put a big pile around this to kind of keep the moisture in so that this apple tree would be doing good. And then I planted my snow apple, which is actually a parent to the lineage of the Macintosh. This snow apple here, and it's doing okay. I mean, it looks a little dry, but sure everything is. I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I need to really start out watering stuff right again. But I did the same thing. I dug a big hole. There's a pile of dirt, and I buried the tree in mulch to help hold the moisture in. And I used some of the mulch to put on this crabapple tree, which you'll see in the next video. And this mulch is just phenomenal. It's been here for about a month or so, maybe a little bit longer. But this is doing awesome, and I can't wait to prune this up this fall to keep it going in the shape that I want it to go in, which is a big spiral. So that is going to be it for this episode of Balthazar's Pagan Garden and the wilds that is Colorado. I'm allowing the goddess to consume the sands in this area and turn it and turn it into beautiful dirt. But as always, blessed be to you and yours, and merry meet until we meet again. Thank you again for watching, and thank you very much for being so patient with me and my school schedule. All right, bye.